Welcome to TMZ Live. The reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. is an unabashed fiasco. That it is worse than it was before taxpayers spent what now looks like $16 million and counting, because it is now affecting wildlife and they're starting to die.
Yeah, there are some photos of ducks, baby ducks.
A dead duck.
Dead duck, I think that is a baby duck, that died in the reflecting pool. Now, obviously, we don't know what the test results are yet. I would imagine there will be a necropsy done to figure out what killed this duck, but
it's pretty obvious that what they've done is they have been putting chemicals.
Fight the algae.
Yeah, putting chemicals in to fight the algae, because the ducks have been able to live with the algae, over a period of years.
Yeah.
But the chemicals apparently are killing the ducks, and it is just, I've never, it's so funny because this feels almost like a metaphor for, hey, let's just jump into something that we're not really ready to do, and we'll hire somebody
You're talking about
who
the
has
reflecting pool of the war.
Well, the reflecting pool.
I know.
And you will hire somebody who's never really done this before, and we will cross our fingers and hope for the best and promise certain things that are not going to be delivered. And that's what happened with the reflecting pool. You would think you can't deny it.
But as to what caused it, now that's the big, obviously, what we're speculating, and I think it's strong speculation, that the chemicals that they're pouring in to get rid of the algae is what's harming the animals. But the other version of this from the administration is that there are basically eco-terrorists going down there and who are either putting things in the water or tearing up the liner of the pool.
And this is the part that, I'm sorry, guys, but let's just, right is right. The idea that somebody is somehow, peeling off
gouging
gouging out the liner is so preposterous. And Donald Trump saying, oh, it's vandals. It's like, no, you hired the wrong guy. You hired a guy you knew who donated a lot of money to your campaign, who's never done anything like this before. He screwed it up. The liner is peeling after a month. It should last 20, 30 years. It's peeling after a month. The job was crappy.
Right.
You didn't think this through. And here we are.
But now they're arresting people who dare to go anywhere near.
To make it look like they're vandals.
Right. And just this morning, we've seen one person who was apparently cited. This guy was actually arrested.
5 people have been arrested. By the way, you would think it's a military operation with the number of people out there.
There was around one woman who didn't get arrested. She walked away, but she might have had a ticket with her. But there were 5 National Guardsmen, at least 2 Capitol Police officers, and a truck full of National Park Service workers, all dealing with this one woman who, from what we saw, and I don't know what happened before we started rolling, she leaned down and put her hand in the water, and then pulled her hand out, and immediately there was a National Park Service person right next to her who was taking a photo of her.
She didn't have anything in her hand, so she didn't pull anything out.
No.
And so
that guy's with the National Park Service took a photo of her and then called over the cops.
Kidnapper.
But let's be fair for a second. We have to take a breath.
I thought we were, but go on.
Well, listen, I do think that because this is an embarrassing fiasco spectacle for the President of the United States, there are people who are opportunistic and may want to exacerbate this issue to make him look worse.
So you bring
that is certainly on the table. I don't know that these people did anything.
Authorities to grab a woman.
I think it's outrageous, and I tend to agree with you that this was a shoddy job, although the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking on the 250th anniversary. He wants a pristine blue reflecting pool, and so you have to do it quickly, and I do think it was not done in the appropriate way.
Let's show you guys a picture of Washington, D.C. today, because this is just a sampling of the things that are going on here. So you've got the reflecting pool that is a mess right now.
Yes.
And that's the White House South Lawn after the UFC
after the
fight.
UFC, that's where the UFC stage was, so that's...
They're going to need some party there.
They're going to need some work there. There's, of course, is that the ballroom?
Yeah, that's the East Wing.
East Wing.
That's under construction. And then you got another nearby mall that has been defaced with
yes,
8647.
Part of the lawn. Someone put 8647 which of course got
James Comey
in trouble for a bit.
But man,
it's a mess. But at least the Strait of Hormuz is open, right?
Our chat is saying he should have just left it alone. It looked fine before. Nobody had a problem with it.
It actually didn't look
Leave
fine.
it alone.
No, but it's complicated because when you make it blue, it heats up the water and you get more algae.
Obama tried to do this. Obama tried it.
And he had algae also.
And you can't just
it didn't work.
You can't put a pump in it because the churning water doesn't reflect as nicely as still water. So it's a very complicated engineering problem.
The algae is a common problem.
Yes.
But the whole liner coming up after a few days.
It's a guy that didn't know what he was doing.
Maybe he was into like residential swimming pools, but not a reflecting pool.
Donated a ton of money to Trump, who's known Trump forever. He gives him a no-bid contract where he gets a 20% profit. Yeah. And then names his price, and that's what you get. I mean, come on. I mean, we should be upset as taxpayers.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris from New York, New York. And yeah, I think it's honestly only a matter of time before someone gets hurt from one of his projects. And of course, it's starting out with this duck, which is really sad. And honestly, that woman that touched the water, they should probably test her hand because it might be radioactive. But it really does feel like a metaphor, like Harvey said. Feels like we're all ducks, sitting ducks, just waiting to be poisoned by this administration. And, they wanted it to look gorgeous and like an oasis for the 250th anniversary. But really, it looks like somewhere that Shrek would live in. So feels like we're all living in the swamp. And yeah, I wish I could say something better.
If it's all fixed on July 4th, he will say that it's fine.
It's not going to get fixed on July 4th.
But whether it is or it isn't, the point is the amount of money that's being spent.
It's just
which
insane.
Just seems like bad planning. That's the best you can say for it. Well, the groom-to-be had a very busy weekend.
More than a weekend.
Travis Kelce, a very long weekend with his buddies. While a lot of people were focused on Rhode Island and what Taylor was doing with her girlfriends, whether or not that's a bachelorette party, get to that. Travis very clearly having a bachelor party over 4 days with his brother and a small group of friends where they did everything from, they went to a concert, they went to a nightclub, they went to watch World Cup at a not fancy bar in West Hollywood, but a very famous one. And they topped off the weekend last night by going to see Dave Chappelle down in San Diego, where they had a nice VIP area
Did Dave Chappelle recognize Travis?
I don't know if he knew they were there or not. But they, they seem to be having a great time rolling around in a party bus that took them up and down the coast here. So besides his brother, there were, I think, by something like 8 people.
Yeah, 8 people. Was not big at all. You might think, big group, knowing all these guys from the football team.
Patrick Mahomes?
Not the case.
Mahomes was there for at
least
one
part of it, yeah. Chappelle, but you didn't see a whole bunch of teammates.
The good thing is when you do like a multi-day, make it like, several events, then you can have buddies who pop in for this, that, and the other. If you can't, not everybody can commit 4 days to hanging out with Travis or anybody.
What famous bar were they at in West Hollywood?
Barney's
Beanery. Oh, Barney's.
Yeah. They were watching the U.S. soccer game versus Australia.
On the Sunset Strip?
Yeah. Yeah.
You call Barney's a bar?
Dive bar? Yeah. It's a dive bar.
What do you call it?
It's a restaurant. I mean, it's more of a restaurant.
Bar and grill.
Yeah.
How about that? You happy with that?
I think there was a lot of people watching the game.
Okay.
Barney's Bar and Grill. Well, that's interesting.
Yes. So that definitely seems like bachelor party.
So on the other side of the country,
yeah, things are a little more murky as to what was going on. But Taylor was at her Rhode Island home with some friends, but there was a wedding going on just down the road at the Ocean House Resort,
which was something they had booked but canceled last month. Yeah. So there's a buzz that they kind of left in SUVs, and they might have gone on a boat or something like that.
Yes, because the whole group of them left Saturday morning, and some people came back, but not as many who left. So there seemed like there was some sort of outing that she did.
Very low key. Both of these things.
And we know, I mean, her best friend was spotted there. So
Abigail.
I mean,
they have to do it low key
was
because
happening.
If they go out anywhere,
because MSG is really high key.
Well, if they go out anywhere, then there's certainly going to be people who are going to see everything.
Well, Travis did.
And Travis did, but
Yeah.
Travis clearly didn't care.
Chad thinks maybe Taylor had some rules for Travis, saying like, "Hey, maybe keep it PG-13,
No.
keep it
Yeah,
fun."
no,
they
I
were
buy that.
expecting like
She's not allowing
Vegas
him
or
to go to a
something
strip
crazy.
club or something.
cannot.
There's
But I
no
don't think she would
way.
even say it. I think he understands.
Yeah,
there's
Yeah.
no way that you can be Travis
Yeah.
Kelce and go to a strip club without everybody taking photos and people seeing what's going on. And
Yeah.
if you put yourself in that situation, even if you do nothing wrong, there'll be a
Yeah.
story that you did
Yeah.
something.
Oh, yeah.
No way he would do that.
No.
And she's not
No.
going to say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. She's not going to do that.
Not until they're married. Then
Right.
she starts laying down
Right.
the rules. Right.
My name's Sierra, and I'm in Philly. And I honestly feel like this whole situation, their wedding leading up to it, is so boring. I want more celebrity. I want celebrities that want to celebrity. I want to see you stumbling out of a van somewhere in Prague. Like, I just want the ridiculousness of it. You have all this money, and you're not training dolphins to like sing all of her songs. It makes no sense to me. Like, what is this Americana core if we're not really going to get into it? I don't
Okay.
get it.
She wants flashy.
Yeah, no, I know
She
you want
wants
flashy. So
super
look,
flashy.
on another note, speaking of celebrity, are you just sick? Your name is Sierra. Sick of Summer House? Do people say, "Oh my
Wow.
God, your name is Sierra"?
Wow.
Just, come on, tell me the truth.
I really like the drama of it. I feel like that reunion was really good, and I feel like Sierra Miller
Which
is
part?
doing her thing now. I just like the drama. I'm here for the drama. I want drama. We need more drama as a country.
Don't
That's
get me
what I
started. Oh, right. That's what this country needs is more drama. Right.
Coming up.
There are stories that have been reported today that the ransom note that we received involving Nancy Guthrie said that she was no longer alive and the kidnappers were apologizing for it. That's not true. Now, there is something we haven't talked about.
Be right back.
There are stories that have been reported today that the ransom note that we received involving Nancy Guthrie said that she was no longer alive and the kidnappers were apologizing for it. That's not true. The ransom note never said that. All I can tell you is that ransom note demanded money. It said she was scared but okay, but never referenced that she had died or that they regretted what they had done. Now, there is something we haven't talked about, and we're going to talk about it now. So we got about a dozen emails from a guy who said that he knew exactly where Nancy Guthrie was and who did it, who took her.
And made it clear that he was not a kidnapper, but he had this information.
And he said that she was in Mexico. And I got to tell you, I believe this guy, and I'll tell you why. That a couple of days after Nancy was kidnapped, he wrote an email to us and said, time is of the essence, meaning you better do this quickly. The next day, he sent an email saying, time is no longer of the essence, meaning she had died, clearly.
Yeah.
If he was a scammer, why would he take away the urgency?
Right.
It never made sense to me.
Right. If you don't really have the information that you're claiming to have, you play the card you can, which is this is urgent.
Exactly.
That's the only card you have to play. And so when he stops playing that, then you go like, all right, well, he's not playing a game here.
Right.
Right. The explanation for the money, the Bitcoin that he wanted, was that he felt he was going to have to go underground because there were going to be people who wanted retribution for having given up the information.
So we had been in regular touch with the FBI because we were working with them where they were trying to identify both the kidnappers through the ransom note and this guy. And they seemed to believe that guy was telling the truth. This is based on numerous conversations I had with the FBI and also our IT team. So this went on for a long time. And ultimately, they never paid the Bitcoin to this guy. About a month ago, I called the FBI. And I said, look, we don't want to interfere with your investigation. So, tell us not to do it and we won't do it. But what if we were talking about doing a documentary on this, what if we actually pay it? And we'll see what happens.
Follow it out to whatever this guy ends up doing.
We're willing to help, and if the and if it turns out to be real, at least there can be some closure.
Right.
And if it's not real, look, maybe we're wrong, but we really had the feeling that this guy is legit, and nothing was happening with him. So the FBI guy that I had been talking to said, "Well, that's interesting," and I called him back, and he said, "Well, it's something we're working on." And I thought, okay, well, look, we won't do anything if you...
He said, there is something we're working on.
That's what he said.
Right.
But then...
Which made it seem like, all right, don't do this now because it might interfere.
Right. And we didn't do anything.
Right.
But then I started calling back, and he had always been responsive. And the FBI is really trying to solve this. And they just ghosted me. I've tried a half dozen times, never returned my calls. And it was on the heels of this. And it just was weird to me that what is it about this guy that has caused this reaction by authorities?
Well, the thing that never made sense to us, we talked about this all the time, right? So a Bitcoin is what, at the time, I know it fluctuates, $40,000, $50,000?
It was a little more.
And I mean, the family at one point had offered a $1 million reward. So you would think if you thought this guy had any credibility, why not at least take a chance? We never understood
when it was going on, we just felt like, for whatever reason, some reason we don't know, the FBI isn't believing this.
And we just backed off. But now that the case is gone, ice cold, we thought...
Why wouldn't you try?
And then we thought, well, maybe we can help. And it's just weird that we've just gotten this radio silence from authorities. And I can't...
Is the inference there that, for whatever reason, they don't want us to go forward with anything?
Or they may know something that we don't.
But it's been months.
Right.
And we've checked the Bitcoin address, and there's been no activity.
Hi, Harvey and Chip. It's Gabriela from California. I think the most heartbreaking thing about stories like this is imagining what the victims' loved ones go through. I mean, no matter what, there's no apology or letters or Bitcoin transactions that can undo the pain that loved ones have gone through.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awful. I mean, not knowing is... Yeah, you're right.
What's old is new again for Halsey. A review of her last album, The Great Impersonator, which, will remind you, came out in 2024. Yet this weekend, she went ballistic on a review of the guy who wrote a review of that album back when it came out. Why did this guy, his name is Anthony Fantano, why was he dragged into this war with her this weekend? Well, he did an interview with Olivia Rodrigo, a new interview. And then there were some of her fans who were getting on her saying, don't do an interview with this guy because he hates female artists. And I guess that's left over from this review he did of Halsey's album. So people started resurfacing the tweets that things he had said about her album. And then he jumped in by definitely stoking the fire. He said something to Halsey like, when people are more into the review of your album than the album itself. Well, that's when she said enough is enough and started going after him, basically saying that he is not even a true music critic. She said, who cares if he gave a bad review? I care that a pay-for-clicks reaction YouTuber can facade as a pro critic and say it's, quote, main character syndrome for an artist to lament her medical suffering on an album, surprise, about her own life. He's a raised by 4chan edgelord bully.
That's a mistake. It is a mistake for her to react that way. Honestly, this is kind of the way of the world. And critics, look, there have been critics forever who have talked about things, and even though it's about something personal, he can still review the artistry. And you may not like it, and there are a lot of critics who don't know what they're talking about, but they do it. But all you've done is you've given him oxygen.
It's also very clear that this is something that she's basically been sitting on for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it came out in 2024. Yes. I mean, when the album debuted, it was #2 on Billboard's chart. So it did pretty well, and then she went on to go tour and debuted the album and perform.
Well, that's her revenge.
What?
That's her revenge. No, that it was successful.
I mean, it was okay. It debuted but
I mean, number 2 is great.
But I mean, anyone can comment on anything, even though he does have like a high-powered platform. She's also Halsey.
And to say he's a YouTuber, well, YouTube is bigger than just about anything right now.
100%.
So it's like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Hi, I'm Hannah from LA, and I have to say, I do understand where Halsey is coming from, and I almost want to say that I agree with her. I do think that she got a lot of pylon when the album first dropped, and I think what was lost on a lot of listeners was that this album was about her experience with chronic illness and being a woman in the industry. And I think his comments, you know, obviously they struck a chord and they upset her, but I think the thing that is relevant now is his interview with Olivia Rodrigo garnered so much attention. And a lot of that attention was from fans wondering, hey, why are you doing an interview with this man? He has historically not favored female artists and been pretty harsh on female artists.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. Whether there's a history there, I don't know. Is that a real Diefenbachia or fake, the one behind you?
It's fake, unfortunately.
No, fortunately, actually, because it'll look that way forever. Congratulations.
Your favorite plant to talk about.
Coming up.
If you're not familiar with Marilyn Monroe's death and the real story, the official story does not hold water, period. What does make sense is there is something behind relationships that Marilyn Monroe had.
She threatened to expose her affairs with the president and the attorney general.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Donnell Rawlings took TMZ DC on a city tour.
You know what the irony of this is? A black man takes a white person to the White House.
It's TMZ.
Our celebrity crime scene, Marilyn Monroe, has dropped on Hulu today. And if you're not familiar with Marilyn Monroe's death and the real story, the official story does not hold water, period. And you will see that from our AI recreation here. But there is something behind
it. Her bedroom, right? Recreated
her bedroom, her living room, the outside of the house, to show you that the official story makes absolutely no sense. What does make sense is there is something behind relationships that Marilyn Monroe had.
Two in particular.
President John F. Kennedy and his brother, Attorney General Robert Kennedy, and their affairs with Marilyn Monroe at the same time.
Not too long before Marilyn's death, she had lunch with either John Kennedy or Robert Kennedy. During that lunch, she supposedly is talking to them about the morality of the atomic bomb.
She threatened to expose her affairs with the president and the attorney general. In addition to the relationships being exposed, she threatened to expose the secrets they told her.
And the day before Marilyn died, an anonymous source sent a letter to the CIA that alleged that Marilyn was going to reveal secrets about Project Moondust.
In the memo, it's alleged that John F. Kennedy is telling Marilyn Monroe about crashed spacecrafts and other things that are being held in these secret government facilities like Area 51.
So the bottom line is that it's possible that either the CIA or the FBI killed her because she knew too much.
Well, the reason that that theory is interesting is that the director of the FBI at the time was J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover had tapped Marilyn's phones because he believed that she was a communist sympathizer. And Marilyn was talking to friends about the things John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy told her. And J. Edgar Hoover was freaked out. And this is right around the time of the Cold War, right around the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis. And here, John F. Kennedy is telling her about his view of the atomic bomb. And J. Edgar Hoover was not above doing somebody in.
We know that J. Edgar Hoover had called the hits on people with some, regularity throughout his tenure as FBI director. We also know that what we reported here is he had all the motive in the world to do it here. And she knew things she shouldn't know. John F. Kennedy said things he shouldn't have said. And
by the way, that she was repeating it to other people.
She was repeating it to other people.
We
have known.
But you got to know, she was really pissed off because both JFK and Robert Kennedy dumped her just shortly before her death because they were informed that she was a powder keg.
Right.
And she was threatening revenge.
Right. And we've known for a long time that there was suspicions that they had taken action against her because of what she knew. But we always thought it was more of the personal nature, the affairs, the drug use. We didn't know, what I didn't know, was that it had to do potentially with this deep information that she had that she shouldn't have had. State secrets.
Our chat agrees. They think that they don't think she died of overdose. They watched the special. They said it looks and sounds like she was killed.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of people think that. And I know this sounds outlandish, but if you watch this, I am telling you, and anybody in the chat who disagrees with me, tell me now. I really want to hear it. Nobody who watches this is going to believe the official story. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't hold water, just like there was no water glass for her to take all those pills. And when you watch it, if it's not Marilyn committing suicide, then what is it?
What is it? Right.
Yeah.
Hello, Lindsay from Phoenix, Arizona. Haven't we known for years that this was not a suicide? There have been holes in the official story since day one. Are people just now opening their eyes to this? Plus, government is corrupt. Hollywood is corrupt. Humanity is corrupt. So no, none of this surprises me one bit. Yes, I do think the CIA and the FBI had hands in this, multiple hands in this. And what's so unfortunate is Marilyn Monroe was just so lovely. She did not deserve any of this. So I'm so glad that she's finally getting the justice she deserves. Justice for Marilyn Monroe!
Wow. Is that Big Ben or ASU?
What? Big Ben, but I did go to ASU.
That's the funniest thing. Lindsay with your accent and then the Union Jack behind you from Phoenix. What? Coming up, Lindsey Vonn, she suffered that horrible crash on her first run at the Olympics. And horrific. She is now off crutches. And I guess she must be feeling much better because she is on a vacation, jumping off of the side of boats.
Can you see the scar?
You can see some scars.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Some very exciting news from Serena Williams this weekend, which we'll get to in a moment. But before we get to Serena, some people might say that this is a cautionary tale that Serena should pay attention to.
No.
Lindsey Vonn, she suffered that horrible crash on her first run at the Olympics. And horrific. She is now off crutches. And I guess she must be feeling much better because she is on a vacation, jumping off of the side of boats.
Can you see the scar?
You can see some scars. Now, it looks like there's some surgical tape that's still over most of the scars.
But not the worse for wear.
And I guess she's feeling good enough to. The question is, will she ever feel good enough to ski again?
Don't do it again.
If she does, she will. I can guarantee you that.
She's going to be back on the slopes before the end of the year. The way this is going, I mean, she was at a pre-Met Gala event. She had a cane with her.
Right.
She's been documenting the entire journey, but this is like a rapid pace. And
God, don't do it, Lindsay.
She's 41 years old. She hasn't even canceled out the opportunity to ski again, or even at the Olympic level. I wouldn't put it past her to be back on the slopes.
No, she can get back to Olympic level, but she'll definitely be back on the slopes.
Who's to say?
Okay,
so that is not the same. That is not the same as Serena Williams.
You are saying, please don't do it again, Lindsay.
Not the same as Serena.
You are also celebrating the fact that Serena Williams is going to compete
in singles
at Wimbledon.
She's already announced that she's doing doubles with her sister Venus, but she is now the wild card, and Wimbledon has invited her.
So
to
Serena
play singles.
Going back at 44 years old.
It is different than skiing.
How is that different from?
Because you don't hurt yourself catastrophically the way you do in skiing. You don't. I mean, you could tear a ligament, but she's in such good shape.
You're not going to lose a leg.
No.
But you could certainly damage a joint.
She's 44 years old, guys. She's in top shape. She's
we don't know whether she is in top tennis shape.
I don't bet usually, but I would bet on Serena on this. Not necessarily that she's even going to win, but I think she's going to win some matches. I really do.
Chat thinks Serena needs to retire.
No!
Hang it up. Give it up while she's still ahead.
She did retire. She
She needs
was
to retire for good.
Tom Brady retired.
He sure did.
And what happened when he came back?
He came back and won the Super Bowl.
He won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
He
Again,
won
not
the Super
same-
Bowl.
Boy, you want to talk about apples and oranges.
He was 40
You're saying
years-
that Lindsay is closer to Serena's situation than Tom Brady.
We have a
They're
direct
individual
comment.
sports.
The way that
Tom
I
Brady
see
plays with a
this
team.
part of Serena's career, this is the post-credits scene. Anything else that happens is just an added bonus. She had her career.
Exactly.
It was legendary. This is all just fun.
What if she wins?
Great.
I mean, I don't count Serena Williams out.
Call Hollywood. It's a movie.
She looks amazing.
Yeah.
And I know she's not played professionally in 4 years. My guess is she's played. I don't think she.
But you know that's not the same thing.
I know,
Just
but
playing a pickup game with
she knows that.
some
Guess who?
schlub
Guess,
like you.
Well,
is
guess
not
who?
playing
Guess who
professional
else knows
tennis.
that? She knows that.
Yes.
She's not going to do this to humiliate herself. She's not. She's not going to do this to humiliate
I know
herself.
she's not
win, for
intending
sure.
to humiliate herself. Obviously, I know that's not what her intent is.
I'm betting on Serena Williams. I'm betting on Serena Williams.
Hi, it's Tori from Dallas, and I think every girl should have a hot girl summer, and especially everything that Lindsay's been through. She just came from the Olympics. We better see her in every color bikini this summer.
Yeah, but do you want to see her in a snowsuit again?
That's the question.
Skiing. Yeah, she can do jumping off boats, clearly, but should she compete? By the way, you have a gambling problem. The number of times you just said that you will bet.
I don't bet, but I talk about it. I talk a big game, and I don't do it.
Like, do we have a Gamblers Anonymous number for him?
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the true legends of the music industry passed away today. Clive Davis died at the age of 94.
He was a genius.
Absolute genius in signing some of the biggest names in the history of music. Not the most celebrated one most recently is Whitney Houston, but also worked with Rod Stewart,
Barry Manilow, Bruce Springsteen,
Barry Manilow, Santana,
Aerosmith.
I mean, yep. Alicia Keys, that's right, yeah.
He crossed all genres. He was a timeless man. By the way, Harvard Law School.
Yeah.
And he was a 28-year-old. He was a head of legal, and I think at Columbia.
Made the wise decision to get out of just.
But the unlikely
law.
turn to start finding talent. And nobody, two people, him and Quincy Jones. There is just nobody like them.
Yeah.
And they're incredible. He, 94 years old.
Yeah, and
by
the way, famously has like the most celebrated party every weekend at the Grammys, the night before the Grammys. The Clive Davis party is where you see all the talent that you can see at the Grammys. They show up at his party, perform at his party, and they all did it out of respect for Clive and what he had done for the music industry. So
you remember that it was at one of those parties the night they found Whitney Houston in the Beverly Hilton Hotel in a bathtub, and it was just a shocking moment and really rocked Clive Davis.
Yeah, really did.
But just honestly, the word genius is overused. He was a genius.
Coming up.
Big weekend for the Comedy Crawl. Well, for all of our tours, we do, a little something for everybody.
A little brunch, a little after dark.
A little after dark.
A little comedy.
Music, and we do comedy. The TMZ Comedy Crawl this weekend taken over by one Rick Thorne.
He's the best.
Be right back.
Big weekend for the Comedy Crawl. Well, for all of our tours, we do, a little something for everybody.
A little brunch, a little after dark.
A little after dark.
A little comedy.
Music, and we do comedy. The TMZ Comedy Crawl this weekend taken over by one Rick Thorne.
He's the best. He's a comedian, actor, a BMX rider, which is awesome. So he's just
That's a
$a dollar sign.
Yeah.
He's just a cool guy. And we had a birthday group on the bus.
Nice.
And they
Good
just
way to celebrate your birthday.
Great way to
Just
celebrate your
just
birthday on the Comedy Crawl.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just amazing. They loved him. And we went to the Improv. We always start with the Improv. And like I said, we always run into famous comedians. We ran into Sabrina the Teenage Witch's Caroline Rhea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Caroline Rhea.
Yeah.
Really?
We ran into her, and she just loved us. She like took selfies with everyone.
That's awesome.
She hung out with Rick. I mean, I'm noticing a pattern here on the Comedy Crawl where we go to the Improv, we get our drinks, and we run into comedians, and they hang out with us every time. It's a pattern.
So cool.
And then we go to the Laugh Factory, and we get to sit in on a show.
Caroline Rhea had a show. Yeah,
she had a show on TV.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
No. She had a talk show. She had a talk show.
Actually,
wow,
she's my
that's really cool.
That's my next goal, to get her on as the host. That would be awesome.
She is super cool. That's great.
It was a great Comedy Crawl. We go out every Friday, and big things coming for After Dark, World Cup themed, Love Island stuff. If you're a fan of reality TV, sports, World Cup, After Dark.
No, After Dark's going to be awesome this summer.
Yeah.
Excited.
Big things coming.
Okay, every weekend we put polls up on our website to find out how you feel about things that we covered last week, and we did it, and here are the results.
I want my last meal to be steak and lobster or fried chicken and mashed potatoes.
What do you think?
What was the relevance of this one?
I just was in the moment.
You were just hungry at the moment?
I was super hungry. I was thinking about it myself. I was just thinking about it. I think they're going for fried chicken.
Yeah, probably.
Ooh, I'm
Steak
surprised.
And lobster, huh?
Okay.
Surf and turf, huh? On the way out.
Bigger Knicks fan, Timmy or Spike? What do you think?
Spike.
I don't know. I think they're going to. I don't know.
Spike by a
just because. Ooh.
Come on, bro.
Oh my God.
He put in, so one of them put in the years, and the other one just can't. No one should be a trillionaire. I agree. Wealth needs to be spread. That's stupid. Don't punish success.
They're going to say the first.
Yep.
We should have an argument. We should have an argument about that someday, though. Okay. Next one. Are Taylor and Travis already married?
All right. Well, this one did not age well.
I don't know. They still could be. Maybe just not last weekend. Yep. MSG's just a party, or ridiculous. If they were, we would know. How about that?
What?
How about that?
Well, they'll be married before MSG, but that doesn't mean they're married now.
Read the question. Read the question.
Flawed question. Brighter future, Sabrina Carpenter or Olivia Rodrigo?
I think this is interesting.
I have no idea which way they're going to go.
I don't either. Oh, it's really close, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be that close.
Brighter future, Somber or Benson Boone?
You're just trying to pit everyone in the music industry against each other?
I think they're going to say Somber because of what Taylor Swift's. Oh, wow!
Whoa! Wow!
Whoa!
Okay,
right. Last
what do
one.
we know? Better facelift.
Oh, this was a big thing.
This is good. I remember
you were here.
Kris Jenner or Janice Dickinson, who Janice Dickinson did not have kind things to say about Chris's facelift.
Oh, I'm dying to see this.
Ooh.
Huh.
Eesh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no comment.
Coming up. Never too late to heap some praise on James Gandolfini, if you ask me.
Nope.
And one of his former co-stars, Sarah Shahi, is opening up about her role on Sopranos.
One of the best, I have to say, kisses I've ever had. We had this scene where, he was so hot.
Be right back.
Marilyn Monroe's death is one of Hollywood's biggest mysteries.
Evidence was destroyed. She may not even have died at home.
Now, investigators step inside a virtual recreation of her room.
How did she OD on 50 pills if there's no water glass?
Be transported to the crime scene like never before. What's uncovered will shock you.
I have so many questions.
There is evidence Marilyn Monroe was murdered.
Celebrity crime scene Marilyn Monroe. Stream on Hulu now.
Never too late to heap some praise on James Gandolfini, if you ask me.
Nope.
And one of his former co-stars, Sarah Shahi, is opening up about her role on Sopranos. If you haven't seen it, Sarah plays a...
don't do a spoiler.
Was she a stripper or a prostitute?
She was a prostitute. She was a prostitute.
I can't remember. But anyway, prostitute. She has a sex scene with James Gandolfini. And she was on the Bostix podcast, and she said for her, it was a little bit challenging because there was a vast age difference between her and James Gandolfini at the time. But she said that he managed to soften the mood for her.
Did a sex scene with Tony Soprano.
That's a good one to like.
One of the best, I have to say, like kisses I've ever had. We had this scene where he was so hot. I remember thinking to myself too, like, how am I going to get turned on by this, 47-year-old, like, large balding man? Like, there's nothing, like, how is this going to work for me?
It's his energy.
Oh boy, did it work for me. When they called cut, we were still kissing. You heard it here first. We were still kissing.
Wow.
Wow.
But you know what's really crazy about this? Because remember, Madonna talked about JFK Jr. just last week.
I think I'd rather make out with James Gandolfini.
Really?
Than RFK Jr.?
Yeah, it's the
JFK
mafia. It's the mafia vibe
JFK
that I'm all about. So he's got like the mobster vibe going on.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah.
James Gandolfini was
wait.
low-key
Wait.
sex symbol.
Nice Italian.
I love
James
James
Gandolfini.
But you are saying with a straight face that if you had the choice of making out with James Gandolfini or JFK Jr., you're picking JFK. Or you're picking Gandolfini.
It's like the preppy vibe versus like the mob boss. Like,
Yeah, like a bad boy.
The chat agrees with you.
With a bad boy.
We have a comment here, agrees with you, says easily James Gandolfini over JFK Jr.
Yes.
Easily in all caps.
Any mob bosses?
Stop going to the gym so much, right?
Hi, we are Allie and Jen from Los Angeles, California.
Hey.
And this would have been around the same time that James Gandolfini met his now widow, Deborah Lynn. And I'm just really curious how she's responding to all of this. It feels a little bit disrespectful.
No, it's probably a flex.
No,
it's probably a flex.
Actors have to do that.
Yeah.
And when they yelled cut, they stopped.
What she's really going to love is that if you had a choice between JFK Jr. and she'll love that.
Mm-hmm. That's a flex.
Coming up.
Olivia Rodrigo going out on tour, but she's bringing quite a few of her friends with her. Female friends only. She has announced an all-female music festival called Daisy Chain Fields.
Forever.
Interesting. Forever. Some of the artists on the tour include...
Be right back.
Olivia Rodrigo going out on tour, but she's bringing quite a few of her friends with her. Female friends only. She has announced an all-female music festival called Daisy Chain Fields.
Forever.
Interesting. Forever. Some of the artists include people I don't know. Well, I know Chappell Roan. I know Cat's Eye.
Sarah McLachlan's going to be in it.
Sarah McLachlan.
And Stevie Nicks.
First of all, why are Sarah McLachlan? Oh, they're
Sarah
special
McLachlan
guests.
was part of...
I'm just saying they should be higher. Sarah McLachlan, Stevie Nicks.
But no. But wasn't she part of Lilith Fair?
Sarah
McLachlan.
Yes, she was definitely, I think, on Lilith Fair.
So that makes sense.
Which was the precursor to...
Which makes sense.
Daisy Chain.
It feels
Forever.
very Lilith Fair.
Indeed.
So
And now
proceeds go to charities supporting women.
Nice.
Where is the Daisy Chain Fields?
It's going to be in Irvine.
I haven't seen that field. Is it like full of daisies?
I have no idea, and I am leaving this alone. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.